welcome to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. I'm Juliet, the daughter.
That must make me Kevin, the dad.
Yes, it must. And this week we are back with part 2 of our coverage of Ray Charles' Ultimate Hits collection. Dad, anything we need to know about Ray any further before we start with part 2?
Well, I'll explain stuff as we go along, but for now our starting point is we're still in the ABC Dunhill years. So let's just jump right into it.
All
and
right.
I'll make up stuff as we go along.
First opening track, Hit the Road, Jack. I remember when Orange Man lost in 2020. A marching band played this outside the White House. Good times. I think the true stars of the show are the backup singers. It's more like this track is starring them and featuring Ray Charles. They kick him out and tell him he can't come back no more, no more, no more, no more. And
No more?
No more. And to Ray's credit, he realizes no means no and he'll leave if she means it. But not without pleading his case first, of course. But these ladies aren't having it, to which I say good for them. Iconic song.
This is from Ray Charles's Greatest Hits. It was written by Percy Mayfield in 1960 and recorded by Ray in 1961. And yeah, the Rayettes are giving Ray the business.
Yep.
Hit the road, don't come back. But Ray pleads that he'll be back on his feet someday. And Margie Hendricks tells Ray she doesn't care because Ray ain't got no money and he ain't no good. And at the end of the song, Ray is still in denial that he has to hit the road. And I never really noticed before how basic the arrangement done by Ray is. It's mostly piano, bass, and drums with a punctuation of horns here and there, and that's about it.
I think that's all you need.
But to me, it just always sounded like much more. And I guess that's another reason why Ray is nicknamed the Genius.
Yeah.
And this is one of those songs that he'll always be known for.
Absolutely. Next track, Unchain My Heart. The shining instruments are the horns and the drums. Ray is begging this woman to unchain his heart because he loves her, but to quote Phil from Hercules, she don't love you. To make matters worse, every time he calls her up, some other guy answers the phone saying she's not home. I bet $5 she's actually sitting on the couch silently making a slashing motion across her throat. And Ray is at this woman's mercy. He doesn't see that he has any power to set himself free. He needs her to stop dragging his heart around. And the song ends with, yes, I made that reference intentionally, no emotional resolution, so it looks like he's going to be in turmoil for a long time. Great arrangement here.
This is also from Ray Charles's Greatest Hits. It was written by Bobby Sharp, but not by Teddy Powell. Teddy got his name on the credits because Bobby sold the song to Teddy for $50 because he needed the drug money.
Oh, God.
Teddy demanded half the songwriting credit. Bobby later successfully fought for the rights and was able to renew the copyright in 1987.
Good for him.
So Ray recorded it in 1961, and he's got it so bad he wants this woman to set him free. Every time he calls her, like you said, some guy answers and says she's not at home. Ouch. This time the Rayettes are on Ray's side.
Yep.
Musically, the song's rhythm it's almost kind of tropical.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the proper term was. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a samba or a
Yes,
conga.
rumba, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Like a dance,
Thank
yeah.
you. I wrote on my notes, Ricky Ricardo, anyone? Anyway, Ray's tenor sax player, Dave Fathead Newman, gets the solo. And you may be wondering to yourself, how did he get the nickname Fathead?
How did he get the nickname Fathead,
I'm
Dad?
glad you asked. Per Wikipedia, he got the name Fathead in school when an outraged music instructor used it as an epithet after catching Newman playing a Sousa march from memory rather than from reading the sheet music,
Shouldn't you be impressed with that?
which rested upside down on the stand.
Oh,
It's another signature Ray song, Fathead and all, which is not to be confused with my Fat Face sweatshirt. Anyway.
next track. But on the other hand, baby, this arrangement is a bit more simple, but it's Ray on piano, so I can't complain. Not to therapize, but this relationship seems very toxic. Reminds me of Aurelia Voltaire's song Stuck With You. Ray's woman really treats him like dirt. To quote Poison Ivy, if you had a middle name, it'd be welcome. She takes all his money, keeps him hungry, but when they click, they click. This is why you shouldn't always look to media as an example of what kind of relationship you want in your life. A love song that defies all logic, but boy, can he sing.
This is also from Ray Charles's Greatest Hits. It was written by Percy Mayfield and Ray. And Ray's hooked bad. She treats him bad, always arguing with him. He gives her money. She says he ain't got no sense. She's always raising sin. She's got another man. Ray can't get anything to eat at home. But when she puts her arms around him, She makes him forget everything. She must be good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. And what'd you think of the Aurelia Voltaire song I sent you?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yep.
And this is a great slow blues. It's just Ray on piano, a drummer, a bass player, and a trumpeter, and it's kind of all you need.
Mm-hmm. Next track, Hide Nor Hair. There's being dumped by your girlfriend, and then there's being dumped by your girlfriend while you're bedridden with fever. Ouch. Ray calls the police. They can't find her either. And then he calls Dr. Foster. Maybe he was originally calling to get a prescription for the fever, or maybe the local doctor has a reputation as a ladies' man and he had an inkling. Welp, turns out it was the latter, because Dr. Foster and Ray's girl ran off. And for a song about your girlfriend ditching you, by God does it groove. Great track.
So Ray lost her to Dr. Foster.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Rhymes, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess she was like a regular Newt Gingrich.
Oh, God. Listeners of my generation, if you don't know, Newt Gingrich was the former Speaker of the House during the Clinton era, and he divorced his wife as soon as she got sick. Or did he cheat on her as soon as she got sick? Which came first?
No, it was as soon as she got sick.
He divorced her and married somebody else.
I believe it was cancer
Yeah.
that she had. Yeah.
John McCain did that too with his first wife.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I think she got into an accident, and she became disabled, and then he started cheating on her with Cindy. So if I had a nickel for every time a famous Republican became ableist and dumped their wife, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Wow.
Yep.
Anyway, Hide Nor Hair was released as a single. It was written by Percy Mayfield. So yeah, Ray's in bed with a fever, and his woman says she's just going down to the pawn shop across the street, but she'll be right back.
Nope.
While she's also busily packing clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So obviously Ray's seen neither hide nor hair of his baby since, and he goes to the police, and for some reason they're looking for her too.
Maybe it's like a Louis Prima situation in that
Shouldn't
song.
have gone to the airport.
Next time, yeah, she's in trouble with the police too.
And yes, he calls his doctor only for the receptionist to tell him Dr. Foster has skipped town with a lady. Who could it be? Best line. I added 2 and 2, and here's what I got. I'll never see that girl no more.
Yep.
This song has a nice groove to it, and I mean, despite all his troubles, Ray is really at ease singing about it.
Yeah. Maybe he's still in fevery Delulu land.
That could be.
Next track, At the Club. Ray's having a bit of a rough night, so he goes to the club to escape from it all, and what does he see? A stacked woman who he sizes up for a date. Yes, they said stacked back then. Literally sizes her up at 34, 24, 38, which that's impressive to know on sight. I like how they create the club ambiance with people saying lines and creating that chatter at the beginning. But you know what this reminds me of with the alternating back and forth between spoken word and lyrics?
No.
I realized, oh my God, it's the same pattern as a Schoolhouse Rock song.
Okay.
And the lady saying, "Are you talking to me?" sounds like she's from the Schoolhouse Rock show. Then there's the twist at the end, which I will not give away, that causes Ray to be in deep shit in the most hilarious way. I won't give it away. You gotta listen for yourself.
Ugh. Well, I'm
What?
probably going to give it away, but
All right, well,
I don't want to give it away.
Listeners, you can skip ahead if you don't want to hear the spoiler.
All right, so this was the B-side of On the Other Hand, Baby. It was also written by Percy Mayfield. So Ray's at the club, and one of his friends points out the woman in the corner, and Ray starts with his line, and yep, as you said, she just keeps responding every time. Are you talking to me? Like she's Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. Turns out she's someone's wife. And Ray says, if that's true, then talking to her is a crime. And then we hear a deep voice say, that's right, bud, let's go. And Ray, classic Ray reaction, ah, no. And, I mean, that just could have easily have been a Coaster song, and it reminds me of their song, Shopping for Clothes, which we may get to someday.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for when we do a Coasters episode. Next track, I Can't Stop Loving You. Boy, those backup singers will wake you up. At first I thought this was a romance song. Then I realized it was saudade, the Portuguese term for I live in the sorrow of knowing this moment will never happen again. Ray is going through a split. The lyric that hit the most was, they say that time heals a broken heart, but time has stood still since we've been apart. So what does Ray decide to do? Reminisce in all its bittersweetness. What's interesting is that this song has a sway to it like a slow dance. Almost like he's slow dancing with a woman's ghost or wishing he had someone to dance with. Maybe that's reaching, but it's interesting to think about. And that's when I easily realized this song could be sung from the point of view of a widower. And that makes it even worse to the point you'll cry your eyes out. From that angle, very touching song.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right?
This is from Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, and it was written and first performed by Don Gibson in 1958.
Oh,
It's a lost love ballad. Don's version is fine. Did I send you Don's? I like to think I sent you Don. Oh, I'm sorry.
nope, you didn't.
It seems almost unplugged next to Ray's version. Ray recorded his version in 1962, and it went to #1 on Billboard's Hot 100 and stayed there for 5 weeks.
What did Don say?
Keep the checks coming in, I'm sure. It also won Ray a Grammy for Best R&B Recording. Ray's cover, along with the album Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, were inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2001. The song and album were game changers for Ray, as he brought an influx of white listeners, and Ray didn't lose any of his black listeners. Modern Sounds went to #1 on the album chart, knocking out, wait for it,
The Beatles?
West Side Story.
Oh, wow, okay.
Ray made the album as a test of ABC's faith in him and respect for his artistic freedom. Willie Nelson would say Modern Sounds did more for country music than any one artist has ever done.
Wow.
As for I Can't Stop Loving You, it's a country-politan ballad. Now, country-politan is a style of country music that emphasizes lush string arrangements and background choirs.
Okay.
And this song really has both.
Yep.
And here's a really fun fact. The choral backing is provided by the Randy Van Horn Singers.
Okay.
They sang the theme songs to the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Top Cat, and I didn't even know he had one, the Huckleberry Hound Show.
Wow, they got some good street cred with
So-
TV theme songs.
So I went back and listened really hard, and I thought, yeah, those are definitely the voices.
Can I go on a tangent really quick?
Tangent away.
I was watching, I went to Nana's house on Friday, and she likes to watch Night Court before I leave. So it was an episode where they're stuck doing the day shift, and the hospital cafeteria converts to a restaurant called the Blue something or other. I think the Blue Room. And Dan goes, "Doesn't this feel a bit surreal to you?" And Matt goes, "Surreal? Nah." And then a voice from afar says, "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's entertainment, Jack Jones!" The Love Boat theme singer. Nana looks at me and goes, "Do you know who that is?" And I go, "Yeah, it's because he was in a Cartoon Network cartoon when I was a kid." Okay, tangent over.
Okay,
Yep. Next track, You Don't Know Me.
I do.
This song goes out to everyone who's ever been in the friend zone. I found this song very moving. Ray's voice and the musical arrangement really captured the ache. The ache that his object of affection doesn't see his feelings, and also the ache he's induced on himself for being too scared to confess his feelings. This was a song where I just wanted to sit with the emotions it brought up and evoked. I loved it so much. And the songwriting is exquisite, almost poetic. Give it a listen and sit back and marvel at its beauty. A perfectly crafted cover.
This is also from Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music. It was written by Eddie Arnold and Cindy Walker in 1955 and recorded by Eddie in 1956. Did I send you his version?
Yes, you sent me, no?
Oh, sorry, I thought I did.
I don't remember. You sent me
Okay.
some stuff.
I sent you
I'll
a
remember it as we
boatload of
go.
stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ray recorded his version in 1962, and it went to #2 on Billboard's Hot 100 singles charts. There's been hundreds of covers. There's a very long list on the song's Wikipedia page. Ray's is the best known. And, you know, if you thought things were bad for Ray and I Can't Stop Loving You,
Oh, it's even worse here.
yeah, and like you said, he's in the friend zone. Ray just can't bring himself to tell her how he really feels, but he knows that he's already let his chance go by. It's too late, and he has to watch her walk away with some other guy. And again, ouch. Musically, I think this is I Can't Stop Loving You Part 2. You get the big string arrangement, and you get the Fred Flintstone singers, and
But it's better.
yeah, I suppose it is.
Next track, You Are My Sunshine. It's sort of the one you think. It is the children's song written by Jimmy Davis, governor of Louisiana, and it would go on to be the state song. Ray does a variation on it, like a variation on a theme. He makes it swing in the bridge, more of an intimate adult love song with the arrangement, and he also makes it a duet. There's also a moment of betrayal where the woman sings about being left where Ray leaving her for another woman, and Ray has to reassure her by singing the refrain. Then it becomes a testimonial. It's a fascinating remix of the song. I really like what he did with it.
This is from Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, Volume 2. Who wrote this standard has been disputed. It was first recorded in 1939 by the Pine Ridge Boys, but no songwriter was listed. The Royce Brothers Gang also recorded it in 1939 and listed Paul Royce as the songwriter. Then the music was sold to Jimmy Davis and Charles Mitchell in 1940. Those two guys copyrighted the song, so they received songwriting credit. When they renewed the copyright in 1967, both their names are on it. Anyway, there's been over 350 versions recorded, and it's been translated into over 30 languages, maybe even Klingon. I bet it's out there. You Are My Sunshine was added to the Library of Congress's National Recording Registry in 2013. And everyone pretty much knows this song. Usually it starts off with the chorus, then goes into the one verse, but Ray starts off with the verse and spends the rest of the song singing the chorus a few times. And at one point, an unidentified Raylet vamps a verse on her own. Even though this is Volume 2 of Modern Sounds, it doesn't sound like the previous two songs from Volume 1. Ray and the band are really swinging this time out.
Next track, Don't Set Me Free. I feel like this is the inverse of Unchain My Heart. I think it's underwhelming. It's a decent song about wanting to stay with a partner and all the promises you make, saying how you'll treat them right if they let you stay. But for Ray, I think it missed the mark. It's not really a duet either so much as call and response. Good song, but I think it needed some more polishing before being given to Ray.
This was released as a single. And remember that, that one time where Ray wanted, like, his heart unchained and set free, remember?
Yeah, I think he relapsed.
Yeah, he's changed his mind now. It's lock him up and throw away the key. Make him a prisoner night and day. Love gets you twisted. But I think musically, you could seamlessly mash this up with Unchain My Heart. And I think maybe that was probably intentional. Because like you said, it's, the reverse.
Next track. Hey, remember that one time Ray wanted his heart to be unchained and then he wanted to be chained up again?
Yeah.
Guess what he wants now?
I don't know.
Take these chains from my heart. Another song involving a heart and some chains. You know what I realized this song sounds like musically and that you could easily sing it to this arrangement? Michael Row the Boat Ashore.
I can kind of hear that.
This is one track where I could tell it was a country song first. It's a pretty song, and I think he sounds good singing it. Pleasant to bob your head to, but this isn't a Ray Charles track I'd actively seek out, and it's like, guy, make up your mind. It feels like a Seinfeld thing. First you unchained it, then you chained it up, now you want to unchain it again?
What's the deal with the chains?
I can't do the bass noise. But you can hear it in your head.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is also from Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, Volume 2, written by Hi Heath and Fred Rose.
Hi, Heath.
Yep. It was recorded by Hank Williams at his final recording session, September 23rd, 1952.
Oh.
There's tons of covers out there, and Ray's is from 1962. So now, Ray wants to be set free.
Again.
Ugh. Guy, you got to make up your mind.
I sense a theme going on here.
Yeah. Musically, this covers the same ground as I Can't Stop Loving You and You Don't Know Me, orchestra and background singers. Ray does a good job, but Hank's version just cannot be topped, which I know I sent you his version. Please tell me I did. I know I did.
Maybe you
I
think.
did.
There's so many.
Yeah.
They'll kind of blend into one another at some points.
Hank's version, he sounds like he's at the end of his rope. I mean, it's just really... You hope he's not going to do something...
Stupid?
Yeah.
Next track, No One. I was surprised to hear a Ray Charles swing big band sound. I mean, he's done that before, but this sounds like something Nelson Riddle would have come up with. Ray swears that no one but this one person fully understands him, and he's going to keep on keeping on somehow. He'll keep on caring for them if they're no longer together. I want to hear someone take this. Here's a cool idea. Take this and make it a twisted stalker song. That'd be kind of fun. Other than that, a pretty generic...
But you.
Yeah, other than that, a pretty generic track for this album. Like, yeah, let Ray Charles do his own version of Run for Your Life. That'd be kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
Let him do something creepy for a change. I'd listen to it. I'd be intrigued.
It's a little too late for, Ray's Halloween album.
Well,
yeah. Anyway.
Not unless we got a necromancer involved.
Yeah. This was released as a single, was written by Doc Pomus and Mort Schumann, and first recorded by Connie Francis in 1960, which I know I sent you the version. It's very...
Maybe...
like I said, with this Ray Charles podcast, listeners, I sent Juliet so
much
many
stuff.
Because so many original versions out there. Anyway, Connie's version is very teen ballady, and it went to number 34 on Billboard. Ray's version came out in 1963, and even though it went to number 21, it's the most successful version of the song. Why? Because he did it better, and like you said, it just swings.
Next track, Busted. There's no two ways about it. Ray is broke, dead broke. There's no money and no cotton growing. He asks his brother for money. The brother's busted too. So they've all got to pack up and leave and look for work. Think if the Jodes had a more majestic soundtrack. Good Dust Bowl depression song, but also good for today's culture where everyone is on the hustle and on the grind. Hell, this will resonate with anyone trying to earn a living.
Yeah, if those Jodes knew how to swing, we'd be having Grapes of Wrath the musical.
They could have had a vaudeville circuit going on.
They
would have gotten their money that way.
There you go. This is from Ingredients in a Recipe for Soul. It was written by Harlan Howard and first recorded by Johnny Cash in 1963.
Johnny.
Same year as Ray's version, and I know I sent you Johnny's version.
I didn't get Johnny's Wait, did I?
Yeah, you probably did.
Here's the thing. I filed a lot of the emails that Dad sends me. I'll put in a podcast file in my email inbox.
And then you forget.
Exactly, because I don't see them in my main inbox.
But there was, I think the other day you sent me 4 replies to 4 songs I sent.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, Ray's cover won him a Grammy for Best R&B Recording. Why? Because he did it better. Johnny's version is unusual in that it sounds like his voice was run through a crappy PA system. It just sounds,
no.
Yeah, it just sounds small and tinny.
Was he doing? He wasn't doing any drugs then, was he?
No. I
Okay.
mean, it just has something to do with the production. I just.
Why you gotta do the Man in Black dirty like that?
Yeah, I just felt bad for him. Ray's version though, it's big. That horn riff is catchy. Once you hear it, you cannot get it out of your head.
Did he and Johnny ever meet? They had to have, right?
I like to think they would have at some point.
Yeah.
For me, it's like you hear Ray's version and you just cannot imagine anyone else doing it. And like you said, bills are due, baby needs shoes, cotton crop isn't what it used to be, goes to his brother. Brother was just on his way to see Ray. Everyone's busted. It's still a timely song.
Yeah. Next track, Crying Time. Now, my first note was, I don't interpret this as a breakup song so much as a long-distance relationship song. ... Well, at first it felt that way. You could take the first half of this song and come to that conclusion until Ray says that the person he loves someone else. And you feel bad for the guy. Can't he have one song where he's not getting stomped on? I mean, that's the point of the blues, but oh man, let the man be happy. He's the saddest kid in grade number 2. The whole point of the song is to make you sad, and boy, does it work. To quote Bleeding Gums Murphy, the blues isn't about making you feel better. It's about making you feel sadder, and you need a couple bucks while you're at it. And yes, I did listen to the versions you sent me for this one. The one where that guy sings by himself, and the other one where he and Ray do a duet.
That would be Buck Owens.
Yeah, Buck Owens.
Yep, so this is from the album of the same name, and it was first written and recorded by Buck in 1964. Ray recorded his version in 1966, and it went to number 6 on Billboard's Hot 100 singles, and this time it won Ray 2 Grammys. Best R&B Recording and Best R&B Solo Performance Male. Ray's version is kind of sort of country-politan. Producer Joe Adams eased up on the background chorus and orchestra. And Buck's version is pretty straightforward, and there's also a version of Crying Time on YouTube with Buck and Ray duetting.
Which I think is perfect.
From Hee Haw, of course.
Wait, from Hee Haw?
That's from Hee Haw.
Oh my God, okay.
Yeah, because Buck Owens and Roy Clark were the hosts of Hee Haw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Before the Rural Purge, wow.
Yeah, I guess so.
I will say Buck's original version, the way the guitars are arranged, it sounds very Aloha Hawaii.
Well, the thing was, I was reading somewhere that that slide guitar solo is considered one of the greatest slide guitar solos ever in a country music song. So I listened to it a few times, and it just wasn't hitting me. I mean, I could really appreciate it, but I couldn't figure out why. But yeah, the slide guitar gives it that Hawaiian feeling.
I'm spoiled by George on the slide guitar. That's just me. Next track, Together Again. My first note, yay, he finally got the girl. They're together again and he's happy now. Not much else happens in this song, but you get the sense that whatever is going on is private, maybe some slow dancing. A slow dance with not much singing. If you like that, great. If not, you might be underwhelmed.
This is from Together Again, also known as Country and Western meets Rhythm and Blues. and the album cover is priceless. It's two pictures. It's two pictures of Ray. One of them, he's dressed up as a cowboy, all in white, and the other is just dressed up in his tuxedo, black tuxedo, black tie, and both Rays are shaking hands.
That's cute.
It is.
Like their replacements. Nice to meet me.
Yeah. This song was also written and first recorded by Buck Owens in 1964, and there's a ton of covers out there. And Ray's came out in 1966, and to me, since Buck wrote both those songs, it kind of feels like this is a sequel to Crying Time. First, it was time to cry because she left, but now they're together again, and nothing else matters. So there. Ray's version was produced by Sid Feller, and Sid produced both volumes of Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music. And I think the tell is the full orchestra and chorus. I think that's Sid's trademark.
Next track, Let's Get Stoned. My first note.
Let's go get stoned.
My first note. Come again? Now, this is stoned in the drunk sense, but I could see people playing this on 420 and not caring.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Ray's girl won't let him back in the house. He's tired and had a long day, so he and his buddies are going to have a few. But he makes it a point to say they're going to get drunk responsibly. No tearing up the place and no falling down the stairs. Just sit and drink and veg. Good song when you just need to zone out for a bit. Also, it does have a chill enough vibe to double as a stoner song.
So it's kind of like responsible alcoholism.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Crying Time. This was written by Nicholas Ashford, Valerie Simpson, and Josephine Armstead. It was first recorded in 1965 by the Coasters. Now, their version is okay. It's not like the Coasters of the 1950s.
The Coasters was fine.
I thought it was okay, but
They should have used the bass singer in that one, though.
I thought, well, this could kind of be anybody. There was nothing in it that says
This is the Coasters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ray's version came out in 1966. And again, you hear his version and you cannot imagine anyone else doing this song. And the majestic irony. Ray's version of Let's Go Get Stoned was released shortly after Ray was released from rehab after his 16-year heroin addiction.
Oh my God.
So it's back to alcohol. Ray's version is like very gospel-y with the organ and the sing. The way that it's structured, it just seems like, yeah, this is very church.
All hail the bottle. All hail the bottle.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because if I didn't get an amen, I was going to ask anybody? Bueller? Anybody? But thank you. This song also marks the first appearance on this collection of Ray saying, "Now wait a minute," which he tended to do in quite a few songs for some reason. I don't know if he just wanted to slow things down or if he just really wanted you to listen to what he was going to say next.
Probably. I think it's the latter. Next track, Yesterday. Yep, that one. And it's pretty loyal. I'm used to Ray covering the Beatles. I love his rendition of Eleanor Rigby.
That's pretty good.
This song takes on a different meaning, sung by an older gentleman. Again, you could look at this as being sung by a grieving widower. Like he drove the ex-wife away, and now she's dead. And whereas Paul sang this prettily, Ray gives this raw grit and pain. I hope to God Paul was happy with this aside from the royalties. But Eleanor Rigby will always be my favorite just because I really like that one.
As a widower song, huh?
Yeah.
Why she had to go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
why'd she have to die?
'Cause she was really sick.
Yeah, but you could be grieving. Come on.
I don't know. She wouldn't say because she's dead. That's why. I think you might be stretching it there, but
Okay.
I guess I'll allow it. Okay, this is from Ray Charles Invites You to Listen. It was written by
Listeners, this is what's called a bit.
yeah, one of those Beatles anyway. Yeah, written by Paul. Now, it's the second most covered song with 2,200 recorded versions out there.
What's number one?
Summertime from Porgy and Bess comes in at number one with over 30,000 recorded performances. I think I have at least 3 of them, maybe 4. I don't know. I've got Dave Edmunds, Ricky Nelson, and I know I've got at least one more, and I'm blanking on it. Anyway, this we're talking about yesterday. Ray said, quote, "Like everyone else, I listened to the Beatles. At first, they didn't kill me, but I saw soon that they could write. Their ballads started speaking to me. Their ballads were serious. So I sang Yesterday and I'm going to keep singing it, unquote. Now, Ray purposely recorded his version with a hoarse voice.
Oh, that adds to it.
Because he was going for that sound.
Yep.
Yep.
I wondered why he sounded different.
And for me, like for the first minute and a half, it's just great. It's so intimate. And then this big band comes in and kind of kills the intimacy.
Like Long and Winding Road for you?
Yeah, I guess. But then at the 2-minute mark, things sort of calm down. Like the orchestra pulls back a little bit, but I think they could have been left out completely. And I'm going to place the blame on arranger Sid Feller and producer Joe Adams for this.
Now, what did Paul say?
Just keep those checks coming in. I couldn't find anything with that reaction. I mean, if you go to Wikipedia's yesterday page, it is just so flipping long. I mean, it just really goes into massive detail. And this also marks the second appearance of, now wait a minute.
He doesn't say, now wait a minute, on Eleanor Rigby, though. He goes, the man turned to me and he said.
Yes,
No.
and I do have that version downloaded.
Yep, me too. Next track, America the Beautiful. Okay, you've definitely heard Ray's rendition of this song in a commercial around 4th of July or Memorial Day, something like that. Similar to You Are My Sunshine, Ray adds additional lyrics. It starts out as a tribute to fallen soldiers who gave their lives for this country. One bittersweet reason for America's beauty, the self-sacrifice. Then Ray sings the lyrics that everyone knows, capturing the beauty of the land. I know there are some people who want this to be the national anthem, and I think this version makes a good case for that argument. Ray had reasons to hate this country growing up poor and black, but man, this version is sung with pure heart. I'd give him a standing ovation if I could. I mean, hell, I clapped when it was over. Bravo. Plus also, it's easier to sing than the Star Spangled Banner vocally. More people can sing this song than Star Spangled Banner.
This is from A Message from the People, produced by Quincy Jones, and like I told you in episode 1, he'd be back. This is written by Catherine Lee Bates, music by Samuel Ward, and there's a bazillion trillion versions out there.
Oh, yeah.
Ray recorded his in 1972, and it was released as a single in 1976
Oh,
bicentennial. Now, he starts with the third verse first of the song. And then he eventually gets around to the first verse, which everyone knows. They don't know the second or the third or how many other verses there are there anyway. He gives the whole song a mixture of gospel and soul. And his is the definitive version.
Correct.
And yes, we get a, well, now, wait a minute.
Now, in your opinion, would you be okay with this being changed to the national anthem?
Oh, easily. Like you said, I mean, it's easy to sing. It's shorter. And, fun fact, Ray sang this at the Republican National Convention in 1984.
Oh, God. They probably paid him so good money.
Either that or he and Ron were like good friends or something. I have no idea.
That's weird. Wow. Okay, next track. 7 Spanish Angels. I adore this song. What? What's the matter?
Well, we'll get to it.
Okay. A man is off to face a shootout where he probably won't come back alive. He doesn't. His woman reaches for his gun and says to God she's sorry, but she can't live without her man. Her prayers are answered when another round of bullets fire. It's sad but beautifully sung and arranged. It's also a collaboration between Ray and Willie Nelson. One of those moments where I forgot that those two artists existed in the same universe for a time. But of course, Ray being Ray, he turns it into a church testimonial, which I'm sure Willie didn't mind at all. I'm very grateful that this track exists because it's a beautiful collaboration.
Fun fact, Willie and Ray were chess players.
Really?
Yep.
That must have been fun.
Ray had a special board.
Right.
And he said that he and Willie would get along better if Willie would just admit that Ray was the better chess player.
I'm sure he meant that tongue-in-cheek.
This is from Ray's album Friendship, which hit #1 on the Billboard Country Albums chart. And the song itself also hit #1 on the country chart, and it was written by Troy Seals and Eddie Sester, and was recorded by Ray and Willie Nelson in 1984. And the Friendship album was Ray recording duets with other country music artists.
Yeah, but they were in the studio.
And yes, they were. And you may have noticed that between America the Beautiful, which was recorded in 1972, and 7 Spanish Angels, 1984,
That's a gap.
There's a 12-year gap.
What the hell was he doing?
Anything and Everything. This is kind of looked on as like Ray's lost years. This was the stuff that was, people would hear it and think, what's the man thinking? And a lot of it is out of print. It's just been like
buried quietly,
mercifully deleted.
Oh.
But the thing is, the vinyl all of a sudden has turned into collector's items because they're not available on CD or any other formats that I'm aware of. So if you find them out there,
Grab
scoop
'em.
them up if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you might not want to listen to them. Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, the plot. The outlaw and lover are on the run. They get cornered and they decide, we're going down fighting. The outlaw gets killed, and the lover, she picks up his empty gun and points it at the lawman because she can't live without her man. And I clicked on this, and it was something about suicide by police or death by police. And I thought, what the heck is that? And I clicked on it, and it was, yeah, someone intentionally wants to get shot by the cops. So they pick up they point an empty gun because they've got nothing to live for. And it works in this song because she gets shot and killed, but the angels come and pray over them or cry over them or
Something.
Now, the songwriters wrote this as...
Songwriters?
The songwriters write this. The songwriters wrote this. This is live, folks. They wrote this as a homage to Marty Robbins' songs. His most famous song was El Paso, which we might cover his album someday. However, Marty was dead, which was too bad because he could have pulled this off perfectly. So who was going to record it?
Ray.
Well, Willie reserved the song for himself, but Ray's producer at the time, Billy Sherrill, proposed a duet between Willie and Ray. And Willie, yeah, he went along with it. Now, for me, this is easily the worst song on this collection.
Really? Why?
And I blame Billy Sherrill. He just glops a choir on top of Willie and Ray, and it just doesn't work at all. It's just so out of place. I mean, they're Willie and Ray. They're minding their own business. You know, they're singing this song.
Choir.
Oh, it's just God.
Oh, I
awful.
love it. I love it.
Oh, you're allowed your opinion. That's what this show's about.
Yep.
You know, we nitpick and gripe and whatever. But oh, I just abhor it.
Do you skip it when it comes on?
I do, and I think I'm going to have to delete it from my iPods just to free up more space.
Wow.
See, the thing with Billy Sherrill is he's always had this reputation of never leaving well enough alone.
Oh, like the Carpenter?
With whatever country artists he produces. It's too much orchestra, too much choir, and too much saccharin and schmaltz and... And, you know, you're going to get diabetes from listening to his productions. You really are. But, yeah, I just do not like this. And I felt so bad for Willie and Ray. I really, really did.
Oh, I love it. Anyway, next track. I'll Be Good to You. My first note. Ray Charles and a synth? This is one of the weirdest Ray Charles tracks I've ever heard. And it kind of works. Here's what doesn't work for me. 1. I wished Quincy turned down the volume of the drum machine a little bit. It sounds like a gunshot. 2. The backup singers are singing more than Ray and Shaka Khan combined. This is featuring Shaka Khan in the loosest sense of the word featuring.
She's in there somewhere.
Anyways, it's a 90s... Was this 1990s?
1989, I believe.
Okay.
Hence the big-ass drum sound.
All right, this is a pop ballad, which I thought Ray would never do, but it's fun. And he suits it really well. The lyric about turn my pants upside down any day of the week was pretty funny. I don't know if I
American Express.
I don't know if I download it, but I find it fascinating.
This was from Back on the Block by Quincy Jones. It was originally written in 1976 by George Johnson, Louis Johnson, and Sonora Sam.
That other version, the original, that works way better than this.
And Sonora Sam was a family friend of the Brothers Johnson, and the Brothers Johnson is an Uncle Joey act if there ever was one. And that's how I learned about the Brothers Johnson, because he picked up that album. I think it was called Looking Out for Number One, or Look for Number One. Anyway, Uncle Joey bought it, played the life out of it. I was exposed to it. It's in my DNA now. It's probably in your DNA eventually if you look really hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, George wrote the lyrics about how he was ready to commit to just one woman instead of, juggling.
All those kids he had, yeah.
He wasn't no Nick Cannon. Anyway, the song, produced by Quincy, hit number 3 on Billboard's Hot 100 singles charts and went to number 1 on the R&B chart. And that marked the first time since 1965 that Ray had hit number 1 on the R&B chart. So that was a 24-year gap. Now, you'd think for the single, like the picture sleeve for the single, there'd be a picture of Ray and Shaka on it because, they're the ones who sing on it.
Is it Quincy?
It's a photo of Quincy and some identified hottie just lounging.
That's weird.
And Quincy's looking at the camera like, yeah, check it out.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. And the hottie, she's just kind of like looking down like, oh,
she's like,
God.
she's ashamed.
Are
God.
we done yet? Are we done yet?
That's the one thing with Quincy. It's like, I remember once he was at the Oscars and he and Pharrell were presenting some sort of award and Quincy started talking about himself and Pharrell had to push him.
He was all about him. Anyway.
But people love to work with him. They said he was really nice.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, just I promise to do anything you want. Just don't talk about yourself. That's even like, I'm going to go off on a tangent here for a minute. I have, your mom has Herb Alpert's Definitive Hits, Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Oh, and Quincy writes something in the bio or something?
Yeah, he writes a little note, but he manages to turn it into about We Are the World. No, he's supposed to be writing about Herb Alpert.
God.
Anyway, Quincy Jones albums tend to be like ensembles of people that he's known.
Yeah.
He produces, he arranges, he does some writing, but no singing.
Mm-hmm.
But it works, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Ray and Shaka's version is lively. There's no doubt about that because loud drum machine noise there. Sorry about that.
They should have turned it down.
Sorry. But I definitely prefer the Brothers Johnson version. It's kind of understated, and compared to this one, you could almost call it laid back.
And they're on the cover of their own album.
Yes, amazingly enough,
Very magnanimous of him.
That's like, I'm surprised Michael Jackson's on the cover of Thriller.
Yeah. I think even Quincy knew that would be a bad idea.
Mm.
Overall, everything I said about Ray Charles still stands. He is wonderful. And there's some great surprises on the second disc. There's songs I knew and some country songs I never heard before that I really like. So if you're debating, should I buy the box set or listen to only one CD? No, buy the box set and listen to both discs. You won't regret it.
Yep. That is Ray Charles' Ultimate Hits Collection. It lives up to the title. 36 songs and only one real clunker out of the bunch. So that's a 97% average, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
So obviously this collection is highly recommended. And just skip over 7 Spanish Angels. You'll be glad you did.
All right, as always, thank you for listening to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. The more you interact with the video, the greater chance we have of appearing on the YouTube homepage. If you follow me on social media, I post the episodes there. If you're friends with Dad, tell him what you want to listen to, and I'll send you an email right to your inbox. One quick note before we sign off this week. Listeners, we're going to be going on a bit of a break because I am going to be going on vacation. So we would normally be uploading the episode,
I think it'd be June 1st.
Around June 1st. But since I will be on vacation, I will not have time to listen to an album for the next episode. So we will be back around Father's Day weekend, which means since it's Father's Day weekend, it's dealer's choice with Dad. So so we will see you then. Dad, any last words you have to say before we sign off? Next time we have another album to pick and gripe about?
Well, now, wait a minute.